Pues continuamos con nuestra cobertura a la visita del famoso diseñador de automóviles Chip Foose, quien se encuentra aquí a mi lado. How are you, Chip?
I'm great. How are you? Good to see you, Ron.
Excellent, excellent. Chip, what brings you to Puerto Rico?
3M and an airplane.
Okay. So what are you doing for 3M?
Actually, we're going around to different countries, and we're visiting their best distributors and their distributors' best customers.
I see. And where has this tour taken you? Because I believe you've been all over the place.
Now you're going to ask me to remember everywhere. But yeah, all Latin America. It's been fabulous. The people, it warms the heart when people appreciate and love and respect what we do on overhauling as well as Foose Design.
For sure. Foose, have you been able to take to have a taste of the local Puerto Rican car culture?
It impresses me that the love affair and the passion for the car is so alive here, and also the quality, the craftsmanship of the builds. There are some beautiful cars here in Puerto Rico.
For sure. Chip, I'm a big fan of overhauling. It's one of my favorite programs and probably my favorite car program. I wanted to ask you, how many people's life have you touched with overhauling?
Well, it's funny that you say that because, most people do think of overhauling as a car show. I consider overhauling to be a people show. The cars are the catalyst to tell their stories. And it's unbelievable when you can do something for somebody who is deserving, but they don't have the money or the means to restore these cars, when you can create their dream and give it back to them and transform not just their car, but their life. And when I say that, I mean, it's not intended that they need to keep that car. If the car changes their life by now being able to enjoy the car culture and go to shows and share their car, that's one way. But if they sell the car and use the money to pay for their kids' college education or a down payment on a new house, our goal is to change their life.
Has that happened? Because, I actually have thought about people maybe just, fixing their car and selling it off. Has that happened?
Yes, it has. And, it's nice. They call me first and say, hey, we're really thinking of selling the car. We don't have a place to keep it. We're renting a garage. And that's not what I want. I don't want it to be a burden for anybody. If they can sell the car and do something with the money to better themselves, to help their family, that's what it's all about.
Have you set up a show with only the cars that you have overhauled?
Yes, we've had. We've done 2 of those where the cars that we've overhauled have come back, and we've interviewed the people on how their lives have changed, and it's very enjoyable. And I also get to see some of these people when they come back. They come to my shop, Foose Design, and just come in and say hello, or they bring me a gift. It's amazing.
Give me one particular story of somebody that you remember that made the overhauling had a big change in their life.
Well, we did a 69 Roadrunner convertible for a gentleman named John. He had bought this car when he was 15 years old. Now he was in his mid-40s. He had 2 daughters in college. His priority was paying for college and taking care of the family, not his dream, which was his car that when he bought it at the age of 15, he wanted to put a Hemi in it and have a 4-speed. Well, that hadn't happened. And in his words, he said, I've had this dream for so long that it had actually become a fantasy. He never thought it was going to come true. And when we did the reveal, when we showed him his car, we had a Hemi badge on the side of the car. And unfortunately, when you see the edited episode, we can't show you how the reveal actually went. But it was amazing to me. When he saw the Hemi badge on the side of the car, he could hardly utter the words, "Does it have a Hemi in it?" And when he said it, we said, go ahead and open the hood. Normally we would have the gentleman that built the motor come out, open the hood, and share it with him. We let him go ahead and open the hood himself. Now, John was about 6'4", maybe 260 pounds, a big man. And when he opened that hood, he became a baby. He dropped to his knees, began crying, and like I say, we can't show you actually what happened. But it took John about 25 minutes because he was crying so hard because he was so happy that he had gotten his Hemi. It took him about 25 minutes just to get out 2 words, thank you, to the A-team and all the builders and the people that built his car. And there wasn't a dry eye in the house. And that's the type of thing that I'm talking about. It's not about the car at that moment. It's about John and how we just gave him his dream.
And there's probably a long list of stories just like it, but I tell you what, one of the episodes I like the most is when they overhauled you.
Those were fake tears. I will tell you the best part about that whole episode was the fact that it was my father. I now have a piece of his artwork. I had designed the car. I had my drawings in the shop. I had my truck. I wanted to build it, but I was busy with customers' cars and overhauling, and they took it from me, and I'm so glad that they had my father run the A-team and do the build because, like I say, now I have a piece of my father's artwork forever.
That's got to be something. And now that you mentioned your father, Chip, I know that he has been a big influence in your career.
Yes, he has. He is my hero. As far as I'm concerned, the most talented man in the automotive industry. He can design, he can build, he has great taste. I consider that my career is an extension of my father's.
Tell me a little bit about your time with Boyd Collington.
My time with Boyd is something very precious to me. I thought of Boyd as basically a second father to me. I had a wonderful time. I never planned to leave and go on my own and start Foose Design. I would have stayed with Boyd forever, but he went bankrupt in 1998, and unfortunately, the new management came in and drove a wedge between Boyd and I that was unrepairable. And we lost him recently, and we had talked before he had passed, and it would never go back to what it was. But I have to thank Boyd for all the opportunity to work with him and work with the talented craftsmen at Boyd shops.
For sure. Chip, I know that you have won many awards, many accomplishments, but what would you consider maybe one of your biggest accomplishments in the automotive industry?
Keeping my wife happy.
Tell me how you do that. I need to learn.
I have a brilliant wife. She's absolutely beautiful. She's a wonderful mother, a great wife, but she understands me. She understands my passion for cars, and she knows that, I have deadlines, and she respects that. But when I don't have to be at work, I better not be doing something for myself at the shop. I put the family first, and like I say, I have to thank my wife. I wouldn't be here without her. I had gone halfway through school, and I left and started my own business. I did not graduate. I couldn't afford to stay. It was 3.5 years later that I met my wife. We had dated for 1.5 years, and the subject of marriage came up, and she says, well, I'm not going to marry you. And I was baffled. Why are we dating then if you don't want to marry me? Because I could see this relationship going all the way. And she says, well, I see the opportunity there, but you need to have a college degree, because she had a college degree. And she didn't want to marry somebody that wasn't her educational equal. And she told me I needed to get back to school. A month later, I was back at school. I knew I wanted to spend the rest of my life with her. It was the smartest thing I've ever done, and I have to thank her for making that decision for me. I knew I wanted to be with her, but she knew what that would do for us. And that was the door opener that allowed me to do everything I've done in my career, and I owe it all to her.
Did you find her intellectual equal?
Well, when we got married, we both had our degrees. But soon after, when I went to work for Boyd, and she was looking for a job, I came home one night, and she says, I think I'm going to look for a part-time job and go to law school part-time. And I said, no way. If you want to go to law school, you're going to go full-time. We'll get through it. We'll figure out how to pay for it. And I don't want you to graduate. Meanwhile, you've found another job that's paying you more than a starting law job would give you. So I said, let's just do it. We did that. She got through. She now does the books at Foose Design, and she's our lawyer, working with other lawyers that are helping with all the contracts that we have.
That's a very interesting...
So when you ask about educational equal, no.
That's a very nice story, and I thank you for sharing it with us. Chip, can you send a message to all your fans that watch Raanspeed Report?
Well, thank you all for watching Raanspeed Report, and I want to thank you all. I've met many people here in Puerto Rico, and the passion you have for the cars and the love you have for overhauling and the cars that we create at Foose Design. Thank you so much for sharing your memories and your thoughts and your passion.
Thank you, Sheep. Sheep, I'm going to let you go. I know it's been a very busy couple of days. Thank you again for giving us your time, and the best of luck in the future.
My pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Continuamos con Raanspeed Report.